Eat by Color and Get Fit and Live Healthy. One of the questions we get a lot is, what do you think of CrossFit? Or is CrossFit bad? Is CrossFit good? Does CrossFit work? Is CrossFit safe? And go on and on. We get a question pretty often, almost on a couple times a day. So daily basis, definitely multiple times, about CrossFit.
Whenever they see our functional training equipment, they ask, they say, oh, that's CrossFit, right?
And yes, Tim's our lead trainer. He just mentioned that we do have a Rogue wall rack. We do have Rogue bumper plates and Rogue beater bars and all the other happy horse shit that goes along with a typical box or CrossFit box or functional training place. We use it to do functional training. When people see that, they inevitably ask about CrossFit, or they say, hey, I saw the CrossFit Games. What do you think of that? I'm probably one of the anomalies from the standpoint of I've worked and owned a traditional health club. I've owned a training business for over 15 years, and we do a significant amount of training in my facility. And I'm one of the few people that comes from that world that doesn't have a bone to pick with CrossFit as a whole. And here's why. Greg Glassman was on TV sometime back on 60 Minutes or whatever, and talking about CrossFit and what makes CrossFit different and what he actually did. And a lot of people that I've talked to in the industry, other trainers, other gym owners, they took issue with a lot of stuff that he said. I didn't. And there's one big thing that he gets major kudos and props for, and that's this. He did something that the modern incarnation of the health club has not been able to do for 40 or 50 years. He made exercise a community event, he made it fun, he introduced variety, and he showed people a way that they could actually get results. He took individuals that had already experienced the 3 sets of 10, and then go do this, and then we're going to do a back and bicep day, and a chest, shoulders, tricep day. We're going to do a quad and hamstring day. We're going to work on some cardio, which, by the way, nobody likes. And he found a way to do some non-traditional lifts, very functional in nature, create a community, make it fun, give away some knowledge and resources, right? He does that all the time. It's on their website. It's the workout of the day. Hey, if you're doing this at home, here's something you can do on your own. And it works. And it's hard to argue that. And it's also hard to argue that they've created a brand and it's popular. It's popular enough that Reebok has bought in. And there's only one other time that Reebok has done that in mass, and that's when they came out with the Reebok Step for Step Aerobics, which that too was huge. And that leads me to, so what is bad about CrossFit? One, it is fair to say that it is going to be part of a fad in the fitness industry. So it's not always going to be like a skyrocket, screaming up in the air, the hottest thing in the fitness industry. I'm not one like many that are saying, oh, it's going to go away. It's probably going to lose some popularity. I think it's going to continue to evolve, but I do not think it's going to go away. And I think people that think it'll be passé in a year or two, I think they're wrong. I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going the way of the Reebok Step and Step Aerobics. The one thing that I would take issue with, or the one thing that, and this isn't true of all CrossFits, is that to take a varied population, if you take a dozen individuals of different shapes, sizes, ages, workout histories, and injury histories, and you have them do the same exercises when they're tired, so when they're fatigued, 40 minutes into a workout, they're already cashed, they're already exhausted, and you hand them a loaded bar, you put a loaded bar with bumper plates on the floor, and you tell them to do the maximum number of repetitions for a set amount of time of the Olympic lifts or the Olympic hybrids. I think when you apply that to a varied population like that, you open the door for an increased incidence of injury. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to get hurt, but what I am saying is if you take a 51-year-old out of shape, never had a commercial gym membership, if you bring him in, I don't care how many times he's been to fundamentals, I don't know how many times he's done the starter class, I don't know how many times you've taught him how to do the Olympic lifts, if you have him go balls to the wall for 40 minutes, load a bar and tell him as many as you can for this amount of time, he's likely to get hurt. Now, if you got a great coach, you got a conditioned athlete that's been in the gym, been lifting, well practiced on proper execution of Olympic lifts and their hybrids, I think the potential for injury definitely goes down. So that's my 2 cents on CrossFit. I don't think it's the evil demon that everybody, especially in my industry, the traditional club industry, makes it out to be. I don't think it's the demon that a lot of the trainers make it out to be. I think there's a lot of trainers out there that are jealous that they're not Glassman and they didn't come up with it. I think there's a lot of gym owners out there that are jealous that they've got $1 million worth of equipment and they've got a big facility and somebody in an industrial complex is kicking their butt with 1/10 of the square footage and $50,000 in equipment. So I think there's a lot of jealous trainers and traditional gym owners out there, but at the end of the day, I do think they address some things that nobody in the industry had been willing to address. And one of the reasons people haven't been willing to address them is quite simply the fitness industry in its current incarnation was created by meathead bodybuilders. And they wanted to do things and create a business model that helped people be better bodybuilders. Well, guess what? If you're over the age of 28 or 30, you probably have long ago lost interest in looking good on the beach. You're probably finding it more important to get out of bed every day without aches and pains. Get on the floor with your 5-year-old son or daughter and play. Go out in the backyard and throw a softball around with your daughter, or be able to go out and mow the lawn and not feel like a truck hit you later in the afternoon. Those things have taken a priority over looking great with your shirt off, which means the traditional gym model, bodybuilding model, isn't going to apply to you. And that's, again, part of the allure of CrossFit plus the community. So that's my 2 cents on CrossFit. If you guys have questions, by all means ask. Would love to hear from you. Make sure you check us out. Subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. 4th of July is coming up this weekend. We've got some killer content for the day before 4th of July. We're going to give away some tips, tricks, advice, some stuff we normally charge for. So tune in tomorrow afternoon.